everybody, my name is Katina Johnson. I work for the Cape May County Library System. I'm the Adult Events Coordinator, and today I will be showing everyone how to make a clay bowl. This bowl can be used for storing jewelry, coins, odd knickknacks, anything like that. It's simple, it's easy, and I hope affordable. So what you will need for this craft is some Sculpey clay, more or less, depending. A bowl of some kind. It can be bigger than this bowl, it can be smaller than this bowl, but it has to be a bowl shape so you can drape the clay over it. And you also need a pattern of the bowl you would like. I'm going to use this leaf pattern for my bowl. You want to make it a little bigger than the bowl so it has a lip. If you don't want a lip, that's also fine. You can do anything. You can just do a regular circle, paint the bottom like the moon, or water. So it'll be a creative process. I'll probably be using some paint as well, but this is our craft. So this is the DIY leaf bowl, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make it, and if you do, tag us. Thanks. Enjoy the video. Alright, so I have my clay here. I warm the clay in my hands. Sometimes Sculpey clay can be very difficult to work with. Don't get discouraged. You just gotta warm it up. Even if you have to put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in some hot or warm water for a little bit so it can be a little malleable. There's my cutout print. I'm gonna cut out a little less in these little white areas because it will be a bowl. And I want it to be somewhat functioning. And right here is a water bottle. What I'm gonna do with this is use it as a rolling pin. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'm gonna try to get it a little bit thicker, so I may have to add more clay. But I would say aim for 1/4 of an inch with thickness. I wouldn't say 1/2 an inch, I think that's too thick. All right. I rolled out my piece of clay. I did have to add more clay just so it would be thick enough. Now I'm going to use my X-acto knife. I'm going to carefully go around the edge and cut this out. I'm going to try to replicate these little marks. You can carve away these little lines, these little veins if you want, or you can make them a little 3D. I don't know which one I'm going to do, but I think I might carve them out, or I might, well, we'll find out. So using the rolled up clay was not great. However, I've been using the bottom part of the X-acto blade, and it has created some nice lines here. So I'll show you how I'm doing that. So I'm holding it on an angle, being careful of the blade near the top of my hand. And I'm going off of this picture right here. I just lift off a little lighter at the end, so it's a finer line at the end. And then I will smooth out everything here. All right. So I smoothed out my clay with hand sanitizer, believe it or not. You can use rubbing alcohol. I use my finger to smooth it out. I'm gonna put on this bowl now. So let's get this going. If there's any cracks, don't worry. There might be. But let's get the thickest part for the bottom of the bowl. So right about here. Right about here. So now we're gonna form it around this bowl. I'm going to smooth out these cracks, and I'm going to roll out a piece of clay to make a little bottom piece so it can rest more stable. I'm rolling out some clay so I can put it right on the bottom of the bowl so it can balance. So I'm really focusing on trying to get it even. See all these bumps? I'd like to smooth those out before putting it right on the bottom. Alright, I tried to get that ring as even as possible. Now I'm going to go through and smooth down along the sides, just leaving a little ridge. Again, I'm going to put this cap on this, and this is a great tool to use to push down and pull. So you're gonna, let me get this a little closer. So you're going to use the bottom of this and gently push down and pull towards yourself like that. So again, let's do it over here. Let me arrange that a little more. Push down and pull. Push down and pull. Push down and pull. I'm going to do that all around the inner rim. So I used the back of my X-acto blade, the very end of my handle, to smooth out the inner part of the ring. I can smooth it out a little more, but I think this is pretty much done and it's ready to bake. To keep the form, I'm going to cover the paper plate in aluminum foil so it doesn't burn, but it keeps its shape, and that's ultimately what you want. But when you're laying down the aluminum foil on the plate, just really make sure to not have any wrinkles. If you want the wrinkles, that's fine, but any wrinkle that you put on the surface of the bowl will show up on your clay. Okay, and then to bake it, you're just gonna follow these instructions. You can just pause it. I'm trying to get a less of a glare on there for you. So you can pause the video and read that, and that's exactly what I'm gonna follow when baking this bowl. I did a little bit of carving with an X-acto knife here, just to smooth down some of the wrinkles. You can even sand Sculpey, but I'm not going to do that. Now I am going to use the white paint here to cover it, to give it a base coat, so the green and the gold that I'm going to apply will pop brighter. And another thing I want to mention, if you notice any little cracks, don't worry about it. We're going to paint over it. If you really want to be a little more smooth, you can just sand down your piece, and that'll get rid of any visible sorts of bumps, lumps, anything like that. But I kind of like it. I like how there's a little bit of an unevenness to it. So yeah, I'm going to get started painting. I painted all this light green. It's pretty much almost dry. And the next thing I wanted to do, this is a couple of coats over a couple of coats of white. Sorry about that. So on the bottom, I didn't really make it as opaque as the top because I'm planning on making this a dark green. The edges I'll leave bright. I'm not sure if I want to put any dark green color here. I might mix the light green with the dark green and see how that looks. But if I do that, I'll end up showing you, because even if you mess up, you can cover it up. And I'll show you how to cover it up if I mess up. If I don't, you paint it white after it's completely dried. You take the original color and you paint over it. Now, if you're mixing your own colors, this is where it would be difficult. I don't suggest doing that for something so simple like this craft, but you can, and feel free to. Just remember the ratios you're using when you're mixing your paint colors, so you can paint over it if a mistake does happen, or maybe you wanted to add shading and it didn't quite work out. So now I'm gonna start painting the bottom this grass green, dark green color. I've got lots and lots of coats of paint on this now. That means for the bottom and the top part. Now I'm just gonna take a smaller round brush and I'm gonna use some gold paint and just very slowly and gently paint this surface, and this will take a few to several coats to be a solid gold color. Here's how the bottom looks, nice and shiny. I tried to get the lines as straight as possible and put another coat of green on the bottom and put another green here. And now I want to do a little detail for the veins in the leaf and just kind of dry brush and smudge some gold in them. I don't want to put too much. I just wanted to add. I added gold details along the edges, down in the veins of the leaf, and the bottom. You can always clean up after things dry. You might clean up a few lines, but after you're completed and you're satisfied with the way you painted it and the way it looks, you can use Mod Podge and just seal it on over and your craft is complete. You can put anything in it. I mean, right now, let's see what I have. Oh, I have this. I can put that in there, and I can also put this in here. So that's our craft. Enjoy. Have fun.
Thanks for watching. If you want even more fantastic content, check out our Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at CMC Library.